So that video is about mental sickness and the definition of it and where it appears. In any shamanic culture, you have no mental sickness. By original people, you have not mental sickness. You have mind sickness, like what becomes simply because any brain damage is born with it, whatever, but no mental sickness. Why? Because the spiritual soul is really left. You have initiation rituals, you have this and that, you have the proper use of drugs, and the knowledge behind how it's used and so on. And shamans are definitely empaths, educated shamans that can deal with their skills and abilities, and that is the main cause why there is no mental sickness, because knowing things. When you bring a so-called mental sick in shamanic cultures, then they heal to 100%. They get a fresh back, when they go back to that so normal science, no? What is normal? Normal? What is normal? Normal is the mindset that you can do what you want, more or less, to some area, yes, and if you don't make anything what disturb the plans of any criminals. And yes, post on Facebook food or any selfish shit, but or make fake posts like there is a bunch of information warriors. Yes, they give information. Moment. But when appears solutions, then there's nothing shared, posted. The only shit pukers, the only ones blah about shit, that don't want to really find solutions. That is done, yes, it's allowed, because shit puking is allowed, but solutions is not allowed. Mental sickness becomes the base of that especially monotheistic religions. I told in a video before about the whole thing explained. The demons overtook that planet 5,000 years ago. That accept native people who live in shamanic cultures. All what you is energy, and you focus your energy in that way on that how and where you're focused on. So that is the reason why demons let people kneel, let's believe them that they are almighty or whatever, yes. And so is sucked like this is a vampire system, yes, it's a vampire system. When anywhere stands in any writings, oh, make love and raise in numbers, then is that because, yes, you should raise in numbers, because they want more energy, they want that you believe on them, that they are this and that, and so they raise their power. Because demons, when you fall from Ilu, then you lose your immortal existence. And because you're divine, your higher levels decay, simply, yes. And so you get mortal. Your existence, your whole existence get mortal. And they need that to exist. And That is the reason why mental sickness becomes. Because people who have that senses still, they cannot bear that. When the awareness is still sensing all that shit, all that madness, you get crazy by that. Except you're strong enough and know how to defeat that, and you don't let you fuck down your knowing. You're knowing. That moment when you begin to obey any money running and slave work, then you get sick. Or you are already a completely artificial puppy of that culture, produced to that. What was Inquisition and witch hunting? What was kneel or die, also for the Muslims, and but the other religions, I mean, the Hinduism, for example, oh yes, with the Brahma and the Big Thing and evolution, and there are some things that are really, that is true, but meditation techniques are modified that you're to hack, you're to control. And when any guru or whatever have any special skills, then is that allowed? As advertising, that it works. There are several techniques where you can block mind controlling. The humans was created for controlling, for the telepathic controlling, that they do what they have to do. I was explaining it, so actually explaining that video, the origin of humans. With a telepathic interface that is here by the temples. When you have a Killian photography, then you see that on the fingertips comes really tough rays of your own energy, and when you give your fingertips on the temples, then block that the incoming signal of the telepathic control. That comes in with how strong it is and what else is done. When your star chakra is already open, because anything, and it should then, the techniques makes you really tough suffering, because the controller, well, fuck you, and he can fuck you over the astral chakra. When your heart chakra is also hacked, then you have any love or any pseudo-love that can be raised with artificial hormones that's very important, like oxytocin and many other things. When you already trained any bullshit techniques where you open your forehead chakra, here comes we now to that third eye thing. Third eye, many times is it also set in a triangle. Yes, I mean, triangle stands for the astral chakra, yes. That had nothing to do here with the soul chakra, or the forehead chakra. That is also a hack. That you control over the, I mean, symbols have effect. Runes are nothing else than rudimentary signs that bring energy in a kind of form, in a dimensional form. And runes work without that you need to know anything about that. You can believe what you want. You can block or erase some things, but they work from itself. A typical example is the hippie sign. And that flower, kids, let them fuck from any ill terminators come. black magicians, and they use that sign. So people would demonstrate years before about any government shit or whatever, sit then years later in that positions where they do exactly that thing where they was demonstrating years before. I get, yes, so it's actually a very powerful protection sign. It protects, but when you give it on the head, then it takes you the protection. And you can gift it in a circle what you want. It hacks you. It even prison you. And there's also one magic law. When you obey the trick or the criminal of that one who invent that, then you are a slave of that. He controls your soul skills. Ill Terminator by itself, I'm not that powerful because they are so no. All that idiots, what fall for them, raise their power. And there's also a magic law. When you control someone, then you control also his magical and paranormal skills. And that is not a point. Many sit in the mental hospitals because they made any shit. They practice as any magic, doesn't matter white, black or whatever, how that is then called. But in real under control. And they suffer. They don't know. They have a stupid kind of loyalty to anything. Yes, to anything what is demon shit in real. Stands because they believe in it and because they love and their loyalty to that. But there's creatures behind, they fuck them. That is a very important thing about that. And to solve that, I mean, when, okay, then is other possibility that for you found anything was really important for freedom, for money or whatever, and you attack them in a certain circle. What is a certain circle? In a certain circle, also, Ill Terminators are always black magic, and even more powerful they are, even higher is the rank. That is in their orders, however they are, and Skull and Bones or Freemasons or how do you ever called, or 1990 or whatever. You have sit in the center a master and 12 adepts around him. And one adept, when he have given that there's energy to the master, then he stand up, go in a room, there he rape any baby, kill it, rape any woman, what have any special power and ability, whatever, kill her, do anything with her, go back in the circle and support that energy before he's charged with the master. The master have then a pick, hopefully only, when you have blood or a hair or anything, and then you have a real problem, and he focused that with the other adepts then on the target. I experienced several times what only a real fucking low-level room magic can do with a human. Oh yes, and there's many made any shamanic courses. They have their sheets and papers on the wall or whatever, because oh yes, I'm so educated. Yes, and when she or he also is then attacked, then I see, I'm suddenly so tired, and then you see the eyes going up, and when I don't interfere, then coma and whatever, then yes, and there's only a shit room magic, really not high level. When it becomes the Saturn circle, then it gets serious. That was 2002 or 3, I cannot remember. It was 1 year after 9/11, Twin Towers. The Heisenberg Console made me to the Ayurveda of the House of Rhea, because a good friend of me, what had the position before, killed himself. He was an amazing guy, but he wasn't a warrior. He wasn't a warrior, but you need to be a warrior to say that. And he could not bear all that madness. He tried to wake up people, but didn't call him whatever, mental sick and all that shit. Yes, because you have to serve a demon of the desert, and the incarnation of the desert demon you have to call Redeemer. Yes, the Father, so the Son, like the Father, huh? Huh? And so I got the job. And I was leading a trap, and I had to take over 1.5 days, so about 30 hours, 35, anything about that. And I knew what is, but it wasn't one certain circle, it was maybe on 3. At the time I had a really good connection with my home, with Asgard. It was quite powerful. I had no help, because the help they blocked. That creature's incarnation, what could help me, they had no access to help me. It was not possible. I had to fight it alone. And I mean, to defend such a shit over 2 hours is a different thing than over days. Yes. Endurance. Endurance is a very important thing. Oh yes, I'm so great, I can stand it. But stand it over a long time, stand it over days, stand it over years. I'm now since 20 years on a battlefield, but no one else ever lived. Yes, that's the reason why the High Council made me to the Ayurveda, because they want someone who is have endurance. And there was one moment after 1.5 days where I really thought, okay, I cannot anymore. They have won, I'm fucked. But then I get an anger. I get so angry. I said, won't succeed with authority of Ilu. No, not with me. And I crashed it. And anyhow, by that ringing like a hand pressing was 3 special frequency of energy, and suddenly I had access to all my power, and I crashed. I felt how many died, and yes, his death was that death not tried anymore. And that is one important thing. Don't let you rob your confidence in Ilo and light. That is dirt. Yes. And anyone tells you, you're mental sick, give a shit on that shit, Puga. Yes, give a shit. Doesn't matter if it's a friend or a wife or anyone else. Trust your skills. Trust that with where you get the information, where you already are proven already that they are true. So don't let you fuck from anyone. And you'll tell anyone that it is mental sick or whatever, that are shit pukers, that are puppies or already servants of that bastards. They do that intentionally because that world is full of corrupted bastards that is not to imagine, yes. And now it comes to psychiater, to any mental box. I mean, there is a YouTube video, I hope I found the links. When I found it, and I posted in the description, where a Native American shaman that also studied Western medicine and is doctor experience in mental hospitals. He tells that each mental state is a potential healer, and a mental sickness is a wake up. But the fact is that healers are attacked from any astral creatures or black magicians, that they cannot do that what they should, that is heal. Yes. So the field of mental sickness is quite a big field, and when you practice any magic or any meditation techniques, take care. There are a bunch of YouTube videos where you make this technique and how to open your third eyes. I mean, when I only hear, how to explain before, third eye. I mean, the definition third eye is already absolutely bullshit, because how I explained, and the big thing I explained with the chakras, you have on each chakra, also each existence level, you have different kind of extremities and senses, like ears, eyes, and so on, and arms, fingers, and so on, but different. And the third eye is a bullshit. That is demon definition that you projecting, associating, and the associating is an energy connection with that what stands behind, like before explained, that you have access to use those skills. So, and the real spiritual way is to explore your own soul skills, develop them, and especially a paranormal. That means the senses of your higher existence, especially what is divine, what is real, and don't kneel, don't pray. Pray, that with praying is the thing. What is praying? Praying, you pray something what you address in your imagines with words, sounds is not. It's very important, it's very dangerous, so be very sure. Just like anyone calls you, or you call anyone, and you believe all what he tells. Do you know who that is? You know he's indebted to really? Only because anyone tells you? Anyone, yes, that made with Inquisition witch hunting, that wrought the shamanic knowledge of X native people, let missionary them and let them kneel? You believe that shit from that? Mass murdering cannot tell, that is a soul murdering, that is a divine murdering. And in Africa, in Ethiopia, die the most of that. I don't know the actual numbers, but years ago was it 28,000 kids each day starved to death. And a big part of them in Ethiopia, then Somalia and all that, yes. Africa was the mother of shamanic knowledge, yes. And Hopi, native Hopi tribes grow in the desert a maize that has 3 times more nuclear contents than that shit what you eat, what you get on your plate, yes. You system cow, yes. Or even when you grow it by your own, what seeds you get From whom are that seeds? Are that real? The original seeds or any chain manipulated shit? When you have in chocolate, you have spider cheese. Hello, yes. You eat shit, you think shit, you believe shit, you serve shit. Yes. And that is normal. That is called normal. Yes. And that is the biggest sickness that exists. Yes. You go in a slave work, yes, and when it goes serious, then you pray to whom? Oh my, huh? Oh my, what is that? What you address in that moment? That is a demon bastard, yes, that let rot and kneel millions. That blue Max, yes, the Indian. All that gods are demons, yes, because the real higher creatures, they were beaten 5,000 years. Okay, in India it began, then 4,005 years ago, the demon raised in Mountain Horeb, that one and only. The founder of fascism, the source of fascism. I, and only I. Yes, and nobody else. Only I. And you must kneel. I'm almighty. Yes, and fuck all. Oh, don't believe that. And that is then called the religion of freedom. Yes. Fuck you, demon. Priest. You will pay. Behind that horn blue. You criminal shit, you. So don't be stupid. Educate your power. Train your power. Train your soul skills and fight evil. They are only that powerful because no one do that. Because from now 8 billion people on that planet, how many people put that bastard their energy with believing, kneeling and praying in his ass? Huh? How many? From 8 billion? How many are that? More or less. But many quite tough Muslims. Huh? Mental sickness. Many in part. When you're born with the skills to feel energy. I mean, when you're plant in part. Compare biomass of natural life, natural plants, wildlife on the planet, and cultured, genetically converted. Compare animals when you're animal in part. Compare biomass of natural animals living in the wild and cultured in animal factories. Compare that all. Compare that biomass of humans with other, what race in number, what mental sickness. Someone who cannot bear that madness is then called mental sick because they freak out. And if there is anyone who goes in on the street and shoot any random people, you call that then criminal? No, that is a victim who cannot bear any that madness anymore. That society is the sickest piece of shit, yes. You have any responsibility for that, what you eat, how that is produced, how, and when any woman is pregnant, and you're so lucky, you get to a mother. To do what? Raise the next demon food, huh? Like a matrix, huh? Because exactly that is it. There is nothing else. And that is the reason why after the movie, many freaked out and showed them around, because it isn't like that. It isn't. It's different. It's not any what you have in your... No, it is an energy matrix. In the prophecies of Sachaha was the high priestess of the Easter Shrine in Babylon and the counselor of Nebuchadnezzar II. And I would really suggest to find that and study that. It makes no sense to give any links because they are they appear in the shutdown very soon. Why? I tell you about that other kind of magic. When in Europe, in the Celtic cultures, celebrated Beltane. That is the night from the 21 April to the 22. It was the ritual where the king of Babylon made a public copulation, public sex on the peak of the El Temen Aki, the Tower of Babylon, with the high priestess of the Easter Shrine, because the king was the highest incarnation of the abilities of the god Marduk, or Odin, and stands for wisdom, order, and justice. And the high priestess of the Easter Shrine stands for the highest incarnation of the goddess Ishtar, Astarte of Freya, and that was made in a special hour. Moment was the astrologians processed out, and the El Temen Anki had 7 steps. That are the 7 steps of the first, the 7 chakras, until the materialization. The knee chakra and the foot chakra is the other video to explain that better, to keep the topic not too confused. And from the divine level, dead to creatures, that is fetish magic, yes, that stands for that, that stands for that. Anyone know fetish magic, what is known in the voodoo with the puppy's needle? So you have a puppy from the target and you do that what you want to do with him and so on. But that is the bluff. It can be also a good way when that is a demon, or then it's a good kind of magic, but mostly used only for criminals to do anything with the target, to block anything what is good. But that is also fetish magic, yes. And what happens in Babylon? And so the copulate, that means that 2 emanations, the power fuse, runs then the 7 steps down and rebirths that power for the whole world. It's a different thing than kneeling and praying, right? That's the reason why some cultures, some religions, is Babylon. Ooh, that is bad, that is so bad. Yes, it must be bad. It must be bad that it was normal that every rich had a room, smaller or bigger, it comes on how rich he was, open to the street, where the whole day was served a buffet, where anyone can go in and that places, with the places where was discussed about politics, spirituality, anything. Oh yes, and it was also served hashish and cannabis and mushrooms. They could grow. Babylon was a high culture of mushrooms. They grow mushrooms in that place. The Hanging Garden of Babylon was nothing else than an amazing using of that knowledge, what is called Feng Shui in China. Mental sickness. Mental sickness. What is mental sickness? When you're mental sick, to cut the foreskin of a baby, to the Martian on that high level to open his astral chakra like shit. Study TCM, traditional Chinese medicine. What acupuncture and acupressure points are on the foreskin? What happens when you cut it away? Religious freedom. All the religions with recent number, with mass murdering, threatening, forcing it. When anyone feel that and don't know all that, what I tell here, they have no solution how to deal with that. What makes it insane? What makes crazy? What makes mad? What is mental sickness? And healing means for that mental dogs to lobotomize that brain sections, what are the physical interface for the higher awareness, that you don't feel it anymore, that you can go to work as normal people, as system slaves. I told what in about 35 years later will be. And I don't solve that shit. The real laws are eye for eye and teeth for teeth, if not black magic is used. When black magic is used, means 3 times more. And I tell that, what I tell not many times in my videos, fight that, because the intervention rules of the fleet all will be destroyed, which first are against the cleanest light, second, all which don't understand the big, 3, all would accept evil, and 4, all which carry the sign of wrong. That means not only obey them and puke the bullshit lies of that criminals. So now, check how many of that rules you fuck. That you have to expect. Eye for eye and teeth for teeth. Then you have the 3 steps. Unknowledge of seriousness. Unknowledge is betteached. Dumbness is control. And evilness is destroyed. It is your duty to raise your knowledge. You can take care about the garden and don't fuck all down. That is your duty. That's the reason why I make all the videos. I say, dude, I educate you. I tell you that, what you have to expect. Yes. And that bullshit movies about Asgard and who and Thor and blah blah, that is, forget that. First, demon kneelers. To begin with cutting a foreskin. Shit! Horror. Evil bot movies. Forget it fast. Yes. That have nothing to do with us. Had nothing to do with Asgard. Not a bit. Not a bit. We are kikis. Yes. I'll explain. And each color shell is a black hole. Different what was and very controlled and errated. Human words cannot explain or define it or bring it in that what is possible. For that you must know telepathy and empathy. There's both. Mental sickness is a demolishing and not bearing a wound of your higher existence. That is mental sickness. And to demolish the physical interface with any tablets is not healing. It is even the robbing of the knowing that you're deeply wounded. And when anyone cry and shout, then he have to be recognized. It may not that be what he tells why he is at that state, because no knowledge anymore. That knowledge is rotten from excrement. Servants of the demon shit. That they can't do that what they do here. So educate yourself. Raising soul, raising the real divine. And to remember your past incarnations. And build that knowledge to a divine upper awareness, over awareness, because that is your duty. You should get to a God and not the opposite what stands in such demon box that you can care about a garden. Siddhartha Gautama told already similar. But what do the people? They kneel and pray. And who let them know? Nothing. And let him kneel and pray. When you are Buddhist, you consider Buddhist, then start study Sanskrit, study his words, and let what anyone tell you. Yes. Buddha said, don't kneel in front of me. Enlighten yourself, because with you becomes the world more enlightened. This is one of his most important messages. That said Siddhartha Gautama. Yes. That said he. That say I too. They are rid of the house of Freya, the commander of the Serene Patrol. Salvos.